Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, adults of all ages, welcome to the Sideshow.
And we're back.
We're back.
Be the 6th recording we've done today.
Yes, I'm exhausted.
First 4 were not okay. 5th one was just us talking, which ended up being not what we intended, but because we recorded it, I'm going to edit it and keep it anyways as a side piece.
Yeah.
And then this one, Patreon email.
Patreon email.
You know, I think that I know that we have planned on the Patreon emails being Patreon exclusive so that people can be more in depth and things like that.
Right.
I think moving forward that we should pick and choose some of the Patreon emails to put onto YouTube as content.
Okay.
If it's not specifically said like Patreon only, do not read on YouTube kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Because as Patreon grows and we get more and more people in Patreon and we're doing the Patreon emails, we are taking away record time for that we're not getting the YouTube growth from.
Right.
So we still want to do Patreon exclusive content in terms of emails and maybe like off the wall shit for ourselves. But I do think that we need to have some sort of leeway where we can put certain emails on YouTube.
Okay.
So in the event that we do like 2 and 3 hour episodes, those are the ones that we would want to put on YouTube because they're long enough that we get long format.
Right.
Content.
It could also drive people to Patreon.
It could. It really could. And that's the goal, is to grow. We're over 600. We were at like 607 the last time I looked. It's wild, right?
That is wild. That is really wild. We're almost 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm. We're closer to 1,000 than we are to 0. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It is. It's insanity.
Thank you guys for being here.
It's insanity.
Do you have anything else you want to hit on before?
No, I mean, we've been in Discord so much that like I don't really feel like there's a reason to have a whole lot of back and forth before this.
Yeah, they're all caught up on everything.
Mm-hmm. I think we should just jump into it. You said this was a long one, right?
So this is 3 separate emails. First one was the initial question. Second one was a follow-up. Third one was a follow-up.
Okay.
This ends with the person leaving the situation.
Oh.
Everything that happens, though, I feel like anybody can relate to. The fuck is that?
Your Minecraft talking to you. Okay, I'm back.
Why do you have scissors?
Because I'm going to take this fucking thing off of here.
I almost said skizzers.
Skizzers. See if I can do this without cutting myself. Oh, there's a magnet there.
Oh, God, please be careful.
Anyways.
So this one is titled Relationship Help.
Part 1.
Would you like me to wait until
No,
you're
I'm listening.
done with your activities? Okay.
I'm listening.
Dear Chris and Peaches, I am stuck between a rock and a hard place currently.
You know that's how snakes shed their skin?
Makes sense.
That's a perfect analogy for growth, right?
Right.
I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. And if that's how snakes shed their skin, that's the only way for you to grow.
That's crazy. Did you
Right.
just think of that?
I don't know where I heard that from, but it is how reptiles shed their skin.
Right, but that's a perfect metaphor.
Yep. So
Wow.
being between a rock and a hard place is a good place for you to be if you plan on growing.
This is the first sentence. I need you to relax a little bit. I feel like you probably felt last night when you're hitting me with some shit.
Yeah.
Wow. You're right. That's the only way they grow is between a rock and a hard place, and it's super uncomfortable.
Yep.
And they probably dread it happening,
Yep.
but they come out new and shiny.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And bigger and better. Growth, bitches.
Well, that's it, guys.
See you on the next one.
I recently moved my long-distance girlfriend down to me after a couple months of dating because she was looking for a fresh start in a new area because she was unhappy where she was.
Wait, okay, so you said that they ended up ending, right?
Yes.
So this is more of like, I just need to shut up and not be like, well, that was dumb.
I mean, there are certainly things I think we can comment on that we
Okay.
can have a back and forth about.
Well, that was dumb.
I agree.
Okay.
You do not move somebody in with you only knowing them for a couple of months. Well, he said dating for a couple of months.
Yeah. Either way, there's not enough of a foundation of a relationship there. And if they're long distance and you're moving them into your house,
You only know them through text message.
right, there's
Video.
a whole lot of things that can go wrong there. Like you could get robbed or they could be manipulating the situation to get you to take care of them.
Right.
or they're just looking for somebody to use as a leg up so that they can restructure their life, and you were nothing more than a stepping stone.
So they met on TikTok and began talking in fall of last year.
Okay.
So they literally met on TikTok and moved in together. That's horrifying.
I regret popping that thing off of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
now you got
I
nothing to fiddle
constantly
with.
fuck with it. Now I don't have a fidget toy.
Hindsight.
Hindsight.
Damn, I'm so sorry for your loss. That's terrible.
Okay.
Oh, let's say, are you sticking it back on?
No, I was
Okay.
gonna play with the skull.
We have had a few issues with some slightly shady activity from the beginning. For backstory, I was previously in a 4.5-year relationship where I discovered I was being cheated on as I was shopping around for engagement rings. I was very open up front about this with her because it causes me to overthink situations. I bet. I cannot imagine the devastation.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Is it really overthinking situations? Like when you put yourself in a situation to protect yourself, right?
Right.
Something foul happens. Say you go to a gas station and get robbed. Mm-hmm. And the next time you go to the gas station, you pump gas with your hand on your thing.
Right.
My little buddy.
Right.
And you're making sure that like your car doors are locked so that people can't steal your purse from the inside of the vehicle or the other side of the vehicle while you're pumping gas. And you're not on your phone and you're constantly looking around and you're being hyper vigilant. Is that a bad thing?
No, I think it gives you a new sense of situational awareness.
Right, because now you're aware that foul shits can happen and that people don't always have your best fucking agenda at play.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you an overthinker. It makes you aware. Mm-hmm. And if you pay attention to people's actions, you're going to see what the fuck is going on. People, it's really fucking hard to lie with your actions.
It is. It really is. I've been working on this constantly and have made leagues of progress in aspects of my life because I absolutely hated being that way. So I think the anxiety is what you're coping with, not the, we're going to call it awareness. I don't think it's overthinking.
Okay.
Not the awareness that you're dealing with. I think it's the anxiety that comes along with that awareness.
Right.
Because you can't unlearn that awareness. Now you know people are going to do foul shit and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Yeah.
And when you really think you know somebody, you probably don't. Now back to the shady activity. She was a big bar goer and would hardly communicate with me when she was. She would hardly ever let me know when she made it home. She had no issues being on her phone to post Snapchat stories, etc., but would constantly leave me on open or read. So if that is happening when you guys aren't even living together, what do you think living together is going to change?
Right.
They're already showing you blatant disrespect. You guys need to believe people when they show you who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, the actions especially.
Right. Like you said, actions don't lie.
Nope.
She can come back and say, oh, I just forgot my phone was in the car.
Yeah, until the next time.
Right.
And then the time after that.
We had multiple conversations about this behavior and how it made me feel, and it would improve for a couple of days to a week and then regress back to her old habits.
Can we talk about that behavior just for a minute?
Okay.
Moving forward, when people talk about that, that is an appeasement mindset. There's no real intention to affect change.
It's to get them to shut up.
You're basically giving you just enough to get you to shut the fuck up so that I can continue doing what I want to do with my life without regard of your feelings.
Right.
Because if you told me, babe, I'm super afraid that I'm gaining weight and I want to eat healthy. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go buy no junk food, just chicken. We're going to start meal prepping the whole nine. And the next day I'm like, let's DoorDash. I'm taking away all of everything that you said, making it about me because I want adult chicken nuggies from B-Dubs and fuck your body image. Right? That's the same scenario. It's putting what you want above your partner's needs. And sometimes you have to suffer with your partner or your person. It's normal. That's how growth happens. We started watching Orange is the New Black last night.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
Did you get to the lemon fast thing that they did at the beginning of episode 2?
No.
So, just in short, then she convinced the American pie fucker to go on a fast with her, a lemon juice cayenne pepper fast, and he stuck to it, and she cheated on it, and he found out because he could smell the pork rinds on her breath, and like he really didn't want to fucking do the diet, and she pushed for it, and he committed and was willing to do it, and then she backed out.
Wow.
People will do what's in their best interest when they don't think about their partner. their person, their significant other. You can call it a partner in this scenario because you're
Right.
supposed to be in it to win it. Like, I don't like that. I think that we need to you and I need to coin a phrase for that. So Discord, when you watch this, let's get a phrase for that. Let's
Yeah.
have something that is unique to our podcast that we can say whenever we hear those things.
The appeasement mindset.
Yeah, there's got to be a cool phrase for that though.
Yeah.
Zeke, I'm counting on you, bud.
You got this, man.
I really like that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's fun. He definitely keeps the chat going.
he does.
He pops in there every once in a while and gets it moving again, and everyone pops in. And
Yeah.
after moving her down here, we discovered that she was pregnant. I was through the roof with excitement and couldn't contain myself.
Wait a minute. I actually think I read this. She was pregnant with somebody else's kid though. She moved down here pregnant, right? I've read this.
I don't know. That's not in this email.
Okay. I'm almost positive I've read this email.
Okay.
I'll stop. So
Okay. I was getting ready to say, do we know how far along she was? Because if she just moved in and you guys haven't had any physical contact and she's already 3 months pregnant.
that timeline does not add up, I promise. If this is the email I think it is, she moved down there pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I was through the roof with excitement and I couldn't contain myself. From the day we met, I have felt that this woman is who I was meant to spend my life with. Everything clicked with her from the beginning, and I just chalked the small issues up to being new people getting to know each other and their boundaries. So she is this most amazing woman who you're supposed to spend your life with, but she can't even text you like, hey, I'm at this bar.
Yeah. It's that obsession phase.
That is at that obsession phase. When you think about something like that, like saying that out loud, nobody in a very committed, healthy, long-term relationship would tolerate that.
Right.
The fact that you guys let that shit slide in the dating phase and then expect that to change when you've been together for 2 years.
Yeah. No, you are setting the standard for your relationship.
Right. When you are in the dating phase, you need to ask yourself, would I tolerate this if we've been married for 10 years? And if the answer is no, that's a boundary. And that needs to be made known now.
Mm-hmm. Those boundaries need to be set way before you even start dating.
Right. She became very hostile, and the fighting was at ridiculous levels for about 4 days until she told me that she had enough and no longer wanted to be with me. I took her things over to her apartment, and upon doing so, I saw a sonogram on her fridge, and she had gone to the appointment and not told me. I took her things over to her apartment. So did you buy her an apartment?
Right. We don't know how that, because I did read this. I don't know how that came about.
Yeah.
But it sounded like in the beginning of that she was moving in with him to be together. But if she moved into the area and got an apartment and they were dating, that's a different scenario. Right.
Yeah.
There's not as much usage happening there, in my opinion, unless she needed the money and he was like, I love you. Oh my God, let me pay for your apartment.
Right.
Because men are tricks and fucking women treat us as such.
Yeah. I definitely view that as tricking.
Hmm?
If you guys have only been dating for 3 months and she's like, I'm moving to the area and I need help getting an apartment, and you give her $4,000 for a deposit, that's definitely buying love.
Yep.
Buying attention. Hoping that you're buying attention.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You're hoping you're buying her attention and her love. Afterwards, I began recalling what time frames she had given me on her test levels, etc., and the math, quite frankly, didn't add up. After 2 more days of poking and prodding, I finally got her to come clean and be honest with me. The week before I moved her down... See, that just makes it sound like he's tricking. He moved her down. Mm-hmm. So he paid her way to come into the area.
That's what it sounds like.
That's awful. That's a choice. That is not a smart investment. That is not a safe investment. If you met somebody on TikTok and after 3 months you're moving them to the area...
Yep.
No. I trust absolutely nobody.
I know. We've had this discussion a lot.
Like, of course you're an exception. I trust you wholeheartedly.
Right, but even in the beginning of our relationship, I've not always been financially good. I've been poor as fuck most of my life, but over the last decade, I've done very well for myself. And all the things that I did for you in the beginning was because I wanted to, not ever because you asked.
Right. Yeah, I've never asked you for anything.
Right. There was never mention of, hey, can you help me? A lot of it was my idea. You know what I mean? Like there was a time where you were driving one of my Audis and I'm like, we just need to get you your own vehicle. And I bought you a truck. Like it was me doing that. It wasn't nothing fancy. I bought you a used fucking beater that you had for a year.
Yeah.
Less than a year. But when I was ready for you to move in, I bought you out of your lease because I wanted you here and it made more sense for you to be here helping me
Right.
instead of paying some fucking landlord $2,000 a month. Like,
I also contributed to breaking the lease.
right. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You weren't like,
Right.
I really, can you just fucking help me break the lease and
No,
I
you
can move
brought it
in,
up,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a me thing.
Yeah.
In the event that we were together like that, even a year or two into a relationship, and you were asking me for that kind of money, that would be a huge red flag for me. I'm not doing shit for anyone who's asking for it. If you got your hand around me, that's not a problem. Nope. I want to be able to offer it so that I can have the decision to do it without feeling guilty about anything.
Yeah.
Because when you ask me if I have it, I might feel obligated to help. You know what I
Right.
mean? And like, I don't want to feel that way. I would rather do it out of the kindness versus the handout.
Yeah. There was a point that I was getting my teeth pulled. I had to have 4 extractions.
Yeah.
And it was like $4,000 because I didn't have insurance.
Right.
And I texted you. I was like, "Fuck me! I'm gonna have to figure out where to get $4,000 from." And I made it work. I never asked you for money.
Nope. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you to offer me any money. It was just, this fucking sucks, and I'm venting about it. But I never asked for a handout,
Yeah.
and I wasn't waiting for you to go, "Oh, well, let me cover you." I texted you, and I had the money in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Was that a moment for you? Like, were you expecting
it was,
me?
Yeah, I was expecting you to ask me for money. I'm always
Wow.
expecting people to ask me for money.
So how did it feel when I was like, I got it figured out?
There was a comfort there
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Dope.
Anytime anybody does anything in life, one of two things is going to happen. The people that are around them are going to either treat them like crabs in a bucket and be like, fuck that guy, he got lucky, blah, 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 and talk shit about their hard work, or they're going to try to ride the coattails and ask for money.
Yeah.
And the ones who are riding the coattails asking for money don't have the work ethic to do what they're trying to do. And AJ is a good example of that. When AJ reached out to me, AJ was like, I want to pay you for an hour of your time to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And he's like, I will pay you an hourly tattoo wage if that's what you charge at the tattoo shop to have a conversation with me. I just want to lay out some things that I want to do for you, and I will pay you for your time. Had that email went any other way, I wouldn't have talked to him.
Right.
But he didn't have his hand out. He ended up telling me after I responded to him and I told him how much I was going to charge. He's like, okay, when can we talk? I'm like, what do you want, dude? Like,
I remember that too.
Yeah.
You were very off put by it.
nobody's ever done that.
Right.
He had my fucking attention in that first email by that.
Yeah. And then he was like, okay, I'll pay it. What time works for you?
Right.
Or just, okay,
Yeah.
what the fuck do you want?
Yeah.
Because now you're going, you're taking it. You're not, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had a really good conversation, and that really worked out for
Yeah.
everyone. I'm really glad that worked out for everyone.
Me too.
But had he, I just want to help. We get those emails every day.
Right.
And there are people who genuinely do want to help, and like people who are on Patreon who are asking, like, I'm saving their informations in case the event comes that we need additional help.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take on anybody else unless we have to.
Right.
You look really good in that cardigan.
Yeah. I'm ordering more of them. They're on my shopping list. I'm kind of refining it a little bit before I give you a number. I don't want to
Yeah. It's fine.
ask for money and be like, never mind, I need more.
Have you checked your credit score lately? Did I ask you that?
Not recently.
Okay.
It's been a couple of weeks.
We need to do that again.
Okay.
I want to put you on the city card. Anyways, I don't want you to get into that right now.
Okay. The week before I moved her down, she had gone out with her girlfriends to a bar as a going away night and got so drunk a guy took her home and she cheated on me. She also explained that because she wasn't sure it wasn't my child, she didn't want to tell me until she had all the answers. How would you have all of the answers if you don't take a DNA test? You're just going to
She fucking knew.
fudge the numbers a
You
little
just
bit?
go in there and be like, all right, doc, I think I'm late. I'm late. I think I might be pregnant. And doc's going to be cool. You're 10 weeks. You fucking know.
Right.
Those numbers are pretty accurate. Can we talk about the quality of character of somebody who goes to a bar, gets drunk, goes home, and fucks some random stranger?
That gives me the ick.
Right.
Right, like dirty 7-Eleven bathroom floor, stickiness, and no thank you. You don't know the quality of their character. You don't know where their dick has been. That was one of my stipulations. When I first started like really dating, I would ask dudes, are you willing to take an STD test?
Yeah.
Like if I was meeting random dudes, because I used to go to the bars and stuff, I would ask dudes, would you take a STD
test.
STD test. I was thinking of DNA and STD. Jesus. And if they said no, I'm not even doing a second look at you.
Yeah.
That's too much. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because that just made me uncomfortable.
Why?
Because I don't like to think about you with other people.
Oh,
I
I'm
know
sorry.
I know that you have a past. I know your exes. Like, it's not that
Yeah.
like relationship thing. doesn't make me view you any differently because everybody has relationships. But the idea of you going to the bar and hookup culture and you being a part of that.
Oh, I never did that. I wasn't somebody who would hook up and stuff. If a dude was interested in me, I would hit them with that shit. And 9 times out of 10, they'd walk away because I'm not easy.
Right. But that scenario just, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like to think of you in that situation.
Yeah.
I don't think that you understand how the lengths that I would go. Anyways.
I love you.
I love you too.
I appreciate you.
The idea of you at a bar makes me want to like burn that bitch to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. I just don't trust people. I don't
Right.
like people.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that most of humanity
Has bad intentions.
needs the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like we need a whole lot of chemicals in this fucking dating pool.
And if I have to go for that to clean this shit up, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like that you're protective over me like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think it's too much?
No.
Not controlling.
I feel like I'm constantly safe. It also makes me feel like if I were to ever I would never put myself in a situation like that, but if we're out with the group and we're drinking and I'm off with the women standing at the bar and we're conversing and you're at a table with all the men, I know you're watching me.
Always.
I know that no one's going to come up behind me and I'm not going to get groped because you have your eyes on me. Like, yeah, that makes me feel safe. I would rather you be overprotective than not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think that it's controlling?
No. I really don't think it's controlling at all. You can't have friends, you can't go out and do anything. You want to keep me out of unsafe situations. If it was you can never go out with anybody ever without me, that's controlling. That's controlling in my eyes. Not allowing me to have friends and go out and do things with just my friends, that's controlling.
So if we were at a bar, say we went to mini golf, because this is really the only time that we ever go to a bar.
Yeah.
In the situation where you and the girls were outside, they were smoking or whatever, and you were drinking. If somebody walked up to you and they were standing there that we didn't know that had a beer in their hand and they were clearly engaging with you, and I got up from the table and walked over there and got in between the two of you and looked him dead in his face and was like, "Walk the fuck away while you can still do that," because that's how that would play out.
Right.
I am that guy. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm overprotective as fuck. Like, you have no reason to be standing over here.
Right. That wouldn't bother me.
No?
I would
what
not.
What if it was someone you knew? Because you know when I'm coming in that bitch like
Right.
rip. Like, it's game on. Like, I'm not fucking playing right now.
I would text you
Yeah.
because I know you're watching. And if someone approaches me and I know them, I would text you and be like, "This is my friend from high school."
Yeah.
Just so you know, so you don't have to come over here and do that.
Okay. And you don't think that's a problem?
No. If you were to come up and separate me and a man, I would probably appreciate that because I'm not entertaining anybody. I'm not here to talk to you. I don't give a fuck that you want to come over here and compliment me. I don't care that you're lonely or you want to shoot your shot. Walk away.
I think that's why you and I have the relationship that we have, and there's not ever any kind of weird overstep controlling situation.
Yeah.
I really don't like, anyways, there's a whole lot that I want to say here, and a lot of it is very criminal, and I don't want to put that out there, but I would do horrible things to make sure that you were safe. And like, I know my temper.
Right.
And though I'm very calm now compared to what I used to be, it wouldn't take much for me to pull that back out if I needed it. I don't know. This conversation's making me not okay.
Are you getting agitated?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we move on, please?
Yes. I do remember her calling me the day after this happened and talking to me about how she didn't remember the night at all and didn't know how she got home. She also took the time to go through any other possibilities of her being unfaithful and provided evidence debunking them. So how can she provide evidence to debunk that she didn't cheat on you when she blacked out and doesn't remember how she got home?
Right. Or even knowing that this conversation was going to come and didn't delete all of the shit that could have been, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
there could have been a whole lot of prep and all of that. I don't know.
You guys have to catch the contradictions when they're happening.
Yeah. Actions are everything. Knowing that
Right.
she went out and got knocked up before she moved down is everything I need to know. And I don't care when anybody says, "Oh, well, she got drunk." Yeah, she fucking did.
Yeah.
She put herself in that situation.
You know, I can understand going out and drinking and wanting to have a good time with girls. But if you're drinking to excess and you know when you're at that point, you're like, okay, I need to stop. If you push past that point and continue drinking anyway, that is a choice you are making to put yourself in a position where you can be unfaithful.
Yep. And that can go into other scenarios too. For a man that goes out and gets drunk and gets into bar fights.
Right.
You fucking knew what you were getting into when you went out and did that. If that's what you do on a regular basis, don't fucking do that. You're making a decision to put yourself in that situation.
Right.
I don't play that game when it comes to the accountability thing. You're going to own your fucking problems.
Yep. We are still split up and won't know if the child is mine until the next doctor's appointment. As stupid as it may make me sound with my previous traumas and my past, I would genuinely like for her and I to be able to get back together and feel like we can overcome the mistake, because I genuinely feel like she didn't go out with the intention of cheating. A mistake is going, babe, I forgot to get the milk while I was at the store.
Right.
This is not an oopsies. She is possibly carrying another man's child while being in a relationship with you.
Right. And then people are going to have the argument, well, you know, she could have still went out to the bar. The fact that somebody hit on her while she was drunk, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to go to a bar. If you want to have drinks, you can go to a restaurant and have dinner. You can do things that are going to put you in a safe situation that's not going to bring on all of that nonsense that comes along with it.
This is drama.
It is. It's fucking Jerry.
Right.
Yeah.
No thank you. Giving me shit for dropping things over here. Mr. Butterfingers.
Don't even care enough to pick it back up.
She wants me to hate her and be mad at her, but I simply cannot be. I am upset that she put herself in the situation for it to occur, and that she felt like she couldn't be honest with me about it. But I cannot bring myself to hate her because she is truly the woman I love and want to spend my life with. You've known this chick for
3 months.
3 months in the grand scheme of life. That's like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
The woman you love and want to spend your life with, you've already been with for 5 years. And they don't do foul shit like this and put you in situations like this.
Yeah.
When you get past that 2-year mark and the obsession dies and you make the choice to love someone despite their flaws, and they go out of their way to make sure that you guys will never be in a situation to compromise what you have, that's the person that you love and want to spend the rest of your life with.
Relationships don't mean shit when it's convenient.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
We can put that on a t-shirt.
We can.
I like that.
Yep.
I want to make a t-shirt that says, I don't know what it is about eggnog, but it does something for me. On the back, it just says it's the rum.
We will see.
I want it just for me.
You just want a single shirt?
Yeah, for me.
No, we can do that. We just have to order it online.
I love that.
Yeah.
She has been back and forth on whether she even wants to have the conversation of repairing things in the slightest. She said some extremely hurtful and malicious things in the 4 days of fighting, but looking at it analytically, I believe she was trying to make me hate her because she was so guilt-ridden and knew that I would forgive her for the mistake.
That sounds like desperation to me.
It sounds like she's showing you who she really is, and you're just still kind of pining after her, hoping for the best. You guys need to bring your self-worth back up. To be completely clear, I am not saying I didn't have my fair share of contributions to fighting and disagreements due to my past. I would ask about male friends she was constantly texting and Snapchatting with, and guys that she told me were friends, leaving comments on some of her pictures and TikToks that were very off-putting for me.
Come on, man. You fucking know what's going on. You see it.
She's cheating on you. This is rationalizing someone cheating because they're throwing back in your face. You're being a little...
Yeah.
This is your trauma.
This is your trauma. That's right. That's exactly what that is.
That's manipulation.
It's bullshit.
She would lash out and tell me that I was treating her like my ex, and she had done nothing to deserve that, and that I didn't trust her.
There you go.
It's almost like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Seen this before.
I know that there's a person on the other side of this email, and coping with this, I do make light of situations because it really boils down to this is bullshit. And you're rationalizing putting yourself in a situation that's going to continue to hurt you because you loved someone. You guys need to wake up and realize you're putting yourselves in situations to continuously hurt yourself.
Right. I think it's important to remember that when you're dating in this scenario, you're looking for a mate. You're looking for a lifelong partner. And everything falls apart around the 2-year mark.
It does.
Because the obsession fades. So if you're within that first 2 years and you're having problems, it's going to get way fucking worse after the 2-year mark.
Yep. It's going to get amplified. When feeling frustrated at times during arguments and fights, I would sometimes throw her past history of drinking and substance abuse back in her face.
Oh, there's a substance abuse problem too.
Even though I would almost immediately catch myself and apologize and say, wait, I'm sorry. That shouldn't have been said, and I'm just getting extremely frustrated. Can we take a few minutes to calm down and discuss things instead of having an argument?
Yeah, that's a problem in its own. You need to learn to fucking keep your urges under control. You lack self-discipline if you can't keep that shit under wraps. Or you're intentionally trying to hurt someone because you're hurt, and if that's the case, you're living with a revenge mindset, and that's a problem too.
Yeah.
We should have a really long discussion about that too at some point.
It's a big deal to catch yourself in the moment, though, and
It
say,
is.
I'm sorry, I don't want to do this.
Yep. It really fucking is, because that's the first step to not doing that shit anymore.
That's how you change your default setting.
Yep. Reset. Pom, pom, pom.
Oh my God, I'm like the guy from the police academy. My next thought was, I can prove it, I can do a cat. Again, I know I am not perfect and that I am not innocent in what all has transpired. I've been working on my tone and body language as well as catching myself before I respond so I don't unintentionally say things that are spiteful or hurtful.
So you're learning to respond instead of react.
Yes.
That's fucking dope. Good for you.
To say I've come a long way is a massive understatement. The person I was a year to 2 years ago would have been blatantly disrespectful and hurtful just because of the things that were said, and I am no longer that way. I still have a lot of room for improvement and have begun the first steps of therapy and being evaluated for PTSD, ADHD, and for being on the bipolar spectrum. I am not wanting to use those as a cop-out or as a crutch. I'm wanting the information so that I can become a better person and be able to rewire my brain so I am not this way anymore.
Yep.
That is how you handle those diagnoses.
Yep.
Diagnoses.
Yep. Either whatever you want to call it. That's exactly what that is. You are taking the information given to make you better. Instead of going, oh, now I know what my problem is. This is going to be my default. Blame it on everything.
You guys just have to accept me for how I am.
Yeah, no the fuck I don't. Nope. You be better. We be better. To be better. Nation. I don't know.
I love how long it took you to say all of that.
Yeah.
That was fun for me. Thank you for that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, you married a goober.
One of the best choices I've ever made.
Yeah.
I recently watched the podcast episode where the woman wanted to be with the man who had wanted to marry her for 7 years. A lot of reasons she listed was non-compatibility between the two of them were told to me Monday in a conversation with her. She used music, aesthetic, wanting to travel, and a few other differences between her and I as to why we are not going to be together. And then later that night, she said she would like to possibly visit the conversation about us reconciling when we were both in a better headspace and after the doctor's appointment next week. The next day, she said she doesn't want to have that conversation at all and that maybe a long way down the road we could visit it after a long time. It's my belief that she still believes I am not trying or I'm not going to forgive her if it is not my child, even though I already have. Meanwhile, she has told me she loves me multiple times when getting off the phone and has apologized, saying things such as, I'm sorry I failed you. You deserve better than what I've given you, and I don't deserve you or your love because I've hurt the most amazing and genuine man I've ever had in my life.
So all I hear is manipulation.
Yeah.
I really do. Because if you believe that, if you
walk
believe
away.
that fucking sentence, you would be making everything right. You wouldn't be pushing him away. You wouldn't be playing the games. You wouldn't be keeping him arm length. You know what I mean? Like, you would be having the conversations. You wouldn't be like, well, this isn't going to work because of music and traveling.
Right.
Fuck out of here with that. That's manipulation. Wait a minute. I love you. Don't leave. But get the fuck away from me.
Right.
Wait. Don't leave. You're amazing. You're the most best thing ever that's ever happened to me. And I'm so sorry I hurt you. I love you. Get the fuck away from me. Wait. Don't leave.
Yeah.
Let me keep you around just so that I can continue to get what I need from you, but get the fuck away from me.
Right. If he's paying all of her bills, I can see why she's doing this.
Could be. It very well could be. I wonder if she quit drinking and doing drugs while she got that baby in her.
When little man was born, he was born extremely prematurely, so he was in the NICU for 74 days. There was a baby that was across the hall from him who was born addicted to meth.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever heard.
To be born prematurely going through detox.
Oh, that child was going through it. I felt so bad. It was nonstop screaming and crying, and nothing would console that child.
Yeah.
Along with the podcast last night, I've been watching your TikToks for a long time, and to say they have been beneficial and helpful. God, it's so stupid. It's so hard. Why is it like this? I'm reading it. I am capable of reading, but my body, this thing that I have to fucking pilot for the rest of my life, just doesn't want to cooperate with me.
Slow down.
Ugh. Beneficial.
Beneficial? Woo! That was good. That's going in Discord.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
Why am I like this? Beneficial
Yes.
and helpful simply doesn't come close to describing what they've done for me. Your podcast and TikToks are some of the best help anyone could ask for. Next question is...
Hold on, before you get there, because he's listening to this.
Right.
I'm willing to bet that hearing this from your standpoint, it doesn't feel that way.
Right.
Because we've been kind of fucking ripping this whole situation apart, and being on your end of that, I'm sure some of this is going to trigger you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I'm sorry if it does, but that whole situation is flawed.
It is.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, well, you know,
No.
if I see bullshit, I'm going to call the bullshit. And I've watched women manipulate men my entire life because of my mom's businesses when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't trust women.
You and I had a very rocky beginning because I wasn't sure how far I could trust you with shit. Like, there was just a lot that went on. And I don't mean rocky in like that we had problems, but like there was...
You definitely treated me
there was
a little different.
a lot of testing.
Yeah.
Because I needed to know that you were going to be 100% with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else to think about. I know that a lot of our listeners are married, and I know that we get a lot of people who are newly single or going through a divorce and know that they're going to get into the dating game again, and they always say, "You're teaching us the things to look for moving forward."
Right.
I wonder how much harder it's going to be for people dating that follow us because of the standard we have set. Not meaning you and I dating each other, but the conversations that we have on the podcast based off of these emails, talking about these problems, these red flags, the 2-year obsession, all that shit. I wonder how much harder it's going to make people in the dating game looking for somebody because now they know these things.
You know, I had a back and forth with a woman in my comments. She was like, you guys are making me set my standards so high, I think I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. And I said, why do you say that? And she was like, all the men that I were contemplating dating, all of them gone.
Yeah.
Because they're not meeting the standard. She was lowering herself to try and pick the best out of a sour bunch.
Right. And a lot of people do that shit.
Right.
If you live in a small town of 500 people, and you know all 500 people, you can only get the best that you can get.
Right. And I told her, I said, from experience, I would rather have stupid high expectations and be single for the rest of my life than settle and wake up every single day and say, fuck this.
Yep.
Why be in a relationship where you wish you had a life that somebody else is having?
Right.
Instead of just setting your standard and being single and waiting for that person to come to you.
Because eventually you will meet the people.
You will.
And I firmly believe that, I'm willing to believe that most people who are in miserable marriages or miserable relationships has met their supposed to be person. And that opportunity passed them by because they
weren't ready.
They weren't ready. They settled. They've married somebody that they really shouldn't have married. We hear it all the fucking time. And every time we hear about those horrible things, all I can think of is you have met your person in passing at least once in life.
Yeah.
Or God or the universe has put somebody in front of you that you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that there's destroying marriages situations there, but I believe that as you level up who you are, the quality of people that come into your life are also leveled up because you don't tolerate less thans. And that's what's the word? There's a word for that.
What?
We talked about it.
Settling?
No, dating up instead of down.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I do not remember the terminology for it. while you're looking for that, when you say that you've met the person you're meant to be with, it could start off with you guys fucking hating each other.
Yep.
Because we did.
Imagine that. Yep.
And if you want to close yourself off and, you know, I was never a dick to you. You made it firm, you know, I'm an asshole and I do not need more friends. And I was like, got it.
Yep.
And that boundary was set. We never communicated after that. And then you initiated, you're into art. We can discuss art. And that was all we talked about. There was nothing outside of that.
Right.
So when you allow little interactions like that, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Knowing that I am that way, because you've experienced that side of it, does that make you feel more secure in our marriage?
It does.
Because you know that I'm not going to tolerate nonsense and I'm not going to put myself in a position where that could become a thing.
It really does make me feel secure because I see women biting to get your attention.
Yeah, I know you point it out all the time. I'm like, I don't fucking notice it, babe. I don't care.
Right. But I see it. I
know
see
you
that
do.
women are biting to get your attention and that validation of, oh, he sees me.
That's
Which
so
is
wild
fucked
to
up
me.
because he's very clearly married, guys.
Yeah.
But it happens. And knowing that you were a massive dick to me, it is a very secure thing to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. It makes me feel good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I didn't write it down. I thought I did. Or maybe I just overlooked it. I don't care enough to keep looking. There's a word for it. You can Google it. What's it called? What's it called when women date up instead of down?
Yeah.
And we talked about it. And I think that I think it's the way it should be. You
Right.
should date up. You should be on both sides, male and female. You should be looking for people that are going to enhance your life, not hold you back. That email that we got in episode 16 where the woman was very goal oriented and the dude was the oil rig worker who was a giant child.
Right.
That is the exact polar opposites of life. I'm cool with skating by, playing video games, doing drugs, jerking off.
Yeah.
I want to buy a house. I want to be business oriented. I want to make money. I want to be comfortable. I want to save. Too bad I'm going to do what I'm doing, but I need help.
Right.
It's not going to ever work. If that woman meets a ambitious man
Yeah.
and she's able to manage the money the way that she's able to manage money and he's able to dream and build and she's able to support him together, they could build a fucking empire.
Yeah.
All it would take is her patience because she's fucking got it. And then her to find that right person that's just got a little bit of drive that needs that little bit of you got this, babe. And it would do so much.
It would.
And she's wasting her time with a fucking 2 years of her life with somebody that is a giant fucking child that has no ambition or goals. And if she stays with that guy going forward, she's gonna be 5 or 6 years and then she's gonna be resentful.
Right.
This just blows my fucking mind, man.
I also just remember this is going on Patreon, so me looking at the camera does absolutely nothing.
What do you mean?
When I said that it's fucked up that women who know you're married are still biting to get your attention.
It's not fucked up at all. You can clip it and stick it on TikTok.
Yeah. Okay. I see it in your TikToks a lot too.
I don't even...
It just blows my mind. It's not an attack on you.
I don't take it as an
Right.
attack on me.
It's the reason I don't trust women.
This
because-
is that conversation where my integrity's not compromised until
Right.
I do something fucked up. They can flirt and try to be all they want.
Right.
You're not getting my attention. Bitch, you got nothing to offer me.
That's just another reason I don't trust women is that they'll try.
Yeah.
They're going to see how far they can go and drive a wedge until they're like, okay, now he's mine. Men don't realize that women do that shit. They're a friend.
Yeah.
They just want to be my friend when in reality, they're giving you a negativity bias towards your wife or your girlfriend. I'm more fun. We have more in common. Getting that attention away from your partner, give it to me.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
All right, part 2. Follow-up to relationship help. Okay, here is some of what has transpired since I sent the first email to you guys. We have had multiple conversations that continue the wishy-washy back and forth behavior. She came clean even further by telling me that she wasn't actually blacked out when the cheating occurred, telling me that she was just very drunk and consented to it and fed in and went along with it. I had another thought, going back to that thing of women pining after you even though you're married. Dudes do that shit too. And that's even slimier
What
in
do you
my
mean?
opinion.
Like to me?
No, to me.
Oh. I was
no.
like,
Men in my comments calling me mommy and where
Oh, yeah.
she's at, I have to wife her up.
yeah, good luck with that, motherfucker.
That's slimy to me. Like, ew.
Shoot your shot, homie.
And it's people that follow me that do that shit too.
I
So
know.
they're aware.
And they know. Yep. You do what you got to do, bro.
That's just gross. Like other women are seeing you doing that
Yep.
to a married woman.
It's pathetic.
You think that a woman's going to be like, okay, I'm going to go after him. If he hits me up, I'm going to say yes. Come on, guys.
When people see, this is the difference between us.
Yeah.
Right. This is the difference between men and women because men don't recognize 99% of the time when a woman's flirting unless she's being super fucking direct.
Yeah.
Right. You have caught people staring at us in public, like eyeball fucking me. And I'm not aware of it because it's not a threat.
Right.
I recognize a threat staring at me, but women are looking at me. I know what I look like. Okay. I'm tattooed like a motherfucker and I look like I just escaped a prison. I get that. So that's my mindset every time. Like they're clutching their purse. They're afraid I'm gonna fucking rob this place. Like it comes from a place of fear and you see it from a very different standpoint because you know what you're looking at.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when you point that shit out, I'm like, I didn't notice it. Like cool. But like as a woman, men are we're stupid.
Oh yeah.
When it comes down to it, most men don't know how to talk to a lady.
Correct.
And I use that intentional because you should be talking to women like they're a lady, not like they're fucking for the streets. Because if that's the type of person you're going after, you have a specific way that you want to talk to them. If you want a classy, quality woman, hey, yo, ma, this shit's not going to work.
Yeah.
Let me see them titties, bitch.
Ew.
It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Wife that hoe. Some of the shit that people say.
It really is wild.
Anyways, if I was you and I saw those kind of comments in the thing, I would comment, react those videos. I would destroy motherfuckers, dude.
Oh yeah.
I would be like, has that ever worked? Tell me that you don't know how to talk to a woman without telling me that you don't know how to talk to a woman. Tell me that you don't have any self-respect for yourself, that you are in my comments talking to me, a married woman who is happy in my relationship the way that you just talked to me.
You know,
I would ruin motherfuckers.
I've done it once, and the most savage thing I've ever done to a dude was he messaged me, and I knew his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He messaged me, and I put that shit on blast on Facebook.
Yeah, I would screenshot and just stick it right on my public feed. Yep. 0 fucks given.
Yeah.
Yep. Social media is weird.
We don't play games.
Nope.
I did that, and I recognized it hurt her, so I would never do that again. But that's...
I guess I could see that too.
Yeah.
But I would have just to send it to her. Like,
Yeah.
you see what's happening, right?
that would have been the way to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
That was me not taking other people's feelings into account. Now I do. But I was young and dumb.
I would ruin people.
Oh, there was a point I wanted to make and it came back briefly. Okay, it's back again. I think because I also understand women on a different psychological level than most women do, I catch that shit quick too.
Yeah.
Because I was in that insecurity mindset. That's that whole thing where like if I'm introducing you to one of my friends and she fixes her fucking hair, we're going to have a problem.
Wait, what? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, women will fix their hair and make sure they look really nice and good and presentable if they think that their friend's man or boyfriend is attractive.
Can we
It's kind of like peacocking, like I'm better.
Can we save that? I don't know any of that.
Really?
Babe, I'm telling you.
Okay.
I am fucking oblivious. Somebody
Yeah.
could compliment me and like be really flirtatious, and unless they're like, I want to suck your dick, I
Yeah.
don't understand. That's not a thing.
Oh yeah, body language is everything.
We need to have that discussion. I can tell body language when it comes to
Yeah.
threatening scenarios because of my PTSD and my training.
Right.
But to know if somebody's flirting or not, I don't fucking know.
I'm a woman. I used to do foul shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when I was at my peak insecurity.
Let's save that for a side piece.
Okay.
That would be a fun side piece. I'm going to put that in the...
Women are fucking foul, man. And I say that as a woman who used to be foul. So y'all can't... No, that's not what happens. That's not true. Okay, try me again. All right, so she came out about cheating.
Yep.
She continued on to tell me that he was a good guy and had a good head on his shoulders and has always been a good friend to her. In the same phone call, she became extremely malicious when telling me, according to the term, they believe I am highly in doubt that it's yours at this point.
Can you read all of that again? Because there was something that you said before the
Okay.
term in doubt. What was the first part of that?
She continued on to tell me that he was a good guy.
Him or the guy she fucked?
The guy she fucked.
Okay, so there's a relationship there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yep. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure I was hearing that correctly.
Yeah, no, so this wasn't some random guy she met at a bar.
Right.
This is somebody that she has
Yep. An ongoing relationship with.
they have history.
Yep.
This is why I don't trust women.
That's why I don't trust anyone.
You're right. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust men and I don't trust women. This one is specifically focusing on a woman.
Right.
And this is very prevalent behavior amongst women. Women like me and the ones in the Discord are very much a dying breed.
I agree. It's just same thing with the men. We are a dying breed.
Yeah.
The traditional values and honor and integrity and loyalty.
And it makes me sad. I'm sad for our kids to grow up in this world.
Yeah.
Outside of everything that's going on, I am very horrified for their relationships. They're going to be raised with our standards.
Right.
And the standards of their dad and their stepmom. We're all on the same playing field.
Yep.
We're all on the same page. You know, Jasmine brought up the other day, I love that the kids are going to see 2 stay-at-home moms.
Yeah, Brandon said the same thing.
Did Brandon say
He
that?
said it on that his reaction thing that he did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That might be where I heard it from.
Yeah. But it's good.
It is,
because
that's
we have a
right.
unified front between 2 parents showing the exact same fucking ideals.
Right. And you and him are on the same page. You're going to be a gentleman.
Yep.
You're going to know how to treat people. You're going to know how to be a man and stand up for yourself. And you're going to know when to take a step back and be like, this is going to get out of hand. I need to walk away.
Yep.
You're going to know how to treat a lady. And same for our daughter. She's going to know how to be a woman and be feminine, but she's also going to know how to stand up for herself and not tolerate bullshit.
Yep.
And that's going to make it, in my mind, very hard for them to find a partner on par. Oh, God. I'm doing this for them. All of this is for the children. You want me to repeat anything else?
Nope. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure that I heard that correctly because I heard it exactly as it was, but I wasn't
Right.
sure. It didn't. Yeah.
After not speaking to her after that conversation outside of a few text messages, she texted me the following day asking about pasta places in town. I recommended one and was feeling nice enough that I sent her some money for dinner simply because I knew that her rent was just due along with a lot of her other bills. You're tricking, bro.
Yep.
She just told you, I wasn't blacked out drunk. I made the conscious decision to cheat on you. And now I'm pregnant with this man who we have a history together with.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, go enjoy pasta. Love you. $50. That sounds shitty with the way I say it because this is a shitty situation.
Right. But that sounds like women use men.
Women really do use men. And I understand that he has trauma and he has PTSD and all of this foul shit has happened to him. You are putting yourself in the exact situation to continue to be hurt by women who cheat on you. Mm-hmm. And she cheated on you, bro. The same thing that your ex did, who you were planning on proposing to.
Right.
She cheated on you, and now you're in another situation with a woman who just cheats on you.
Yep.
Don't become so comfortable in your trauma that you allow people to disrespect you like this. I'm going to repeat that. Do not become so comfortable in your own trauma that you allow people to treat you like this.
Yep.
Growth hurts.
And it's not easy.
It is not easy. There's going to be a fuck ton of growing pains, but you should want to do that over going through the same situation that you just got out of with somebody else.
Yep. You guys got to pay attention to people's actions, man.
You really do.
I'm telling you, when it comes to communication, it's not just verbal.
It's not. You are showing her, you just did all this foul shit to me, and I'm going to continue to support you and love you. Even though you just hurt me the way you did, and you clearly don't give a fuck that you hurt me the way you did,
Right.
I'm going to continue to love you anyway because I don't respect myself enough.
And she knows that she can manipulate the situation and get what she wants out of it.
Yep.
Don't go, wait, too far. Stay right there.
Yeah.
Just so that I can continue to get what I need, take advantage, and take.
This quickly turned into a phone call and her asking if I would like to go grab dinner. She was extremely cheery and seemed to be in a good mood, so I agreed to go. At dinner, we discussed a lot of things in depth, from how she felt guilty for her decision to how sorry she was for hurting me. As the night progressed, multiple conversations were had about reconciling and us working on things depending on how the next few weeks go. She even brought up how if we were to work on things and it wasn't my child, that we would have to co-parent, etc. So I took these conversations as she was genuinely interested in it and the possibilities were there. She knew you would take it that way. That's why she did all of it.
Right. Yeah, she's 100% playing the game.
She is.
Yep. Sounds like she's good at it too.
Oh, yeah, she's nailing it because he keeps going back and he's getting caught in the cycle of there's hope. We're going to work through this. I love her.
We need a shirt that says hopium.
Hopium. Oh, yeah. Don't OD on hopium.
You got to figure a way to make that clever.
Yeah.
Star-studded hopium. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Because that's exactly what people are doing.
That's
they're
exactly
chasing,
what this is.
Chasing that hope dragon down the fucking hole.
This is devastating for me.
Yeah. I've watched women do this shit to men my whole life.
It blows my mind that there are women out there that do this.
Reading this email, do you understand the conversations that we had in the beginning of our courting phase now?
Oh, yeah. When you told me things that you completely fabricated just to see if I would gossip, I can understand why you did that. Like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that there were women out there that were doing this foul shit, and men are just letting it happen. Yeah. You guys are just letting this shit happen. Yeah. When you start holding women accountable for their behavior, they're going to start to realize, all right, shit, we really can't be going out and doing this kind of stuff because no man's going to accept it.
Yeah. The problem is there will always be weak men who accept it.
Those weak men are fucking pussies, and you're ruining it for everybody else.
I agree. I fucking agree.
And this dude's doing the work on himself. He's recognizing that he goes too far sometimes with his anger. Put that same energy into your self-worth, and you're going to find a woman who cherishes you.
Right. Sees that fucking value.
With what we have and who you are as a person, I cherish everything about you.
I know, you tell me every day.
I could never imagine doing foul shit like this and expecting you to continue to love me. That's why I'm so adamant about not messaging dudes anymore. Yeah. Like, I don't care if I've known a dude for 15 years. We're not going to have prolonged every single day conversations. Because if I have a single dude who I've known for 15 years and we start having daily conversations like that, he's going to fucking catch feelings.
Right. So here's a thought, just on this topic, not on the email.
Yeah.
We always say that if you go through somebody's phone looking for problems, you're going to find something that otherwise would not really have been an issue, but because you've got that mindset, you're looking for it, right? Right. So say you've got somebody you've been talking to that you've been friends with for 15 or 20 years, and you've always had like a, on the surface, casual, flirty thing, right? You look really good in that dress. Oh my God, girl, you look great. Right. That kind of shit, right? Not over the top, not overbearing.
But that's definitely flirting.
It is, right? And you know it's flirting. And you kind of do it back, whatever. It's never gone past that. It's just a feel-good friendship. Somebody picks that phone up and that shit happens and it went unchecked. There's that scenario. Yeah. And it could be a lifelong thing. He's like my brother. We always have done that. Well, that's fucked up. And I see that and think that's fucked up, and you've been doing it this whole time, or I've been doing it this whole time. That's a fucking problem. Yeah. And it is a fucking problem. And in the event that that was never the case, and you guys have been friends for 15 years, and something inappropriate was said, and because you've been friends for 15 years, you just kind of pushed it aside and was not clear, like, shut the fuck up, we don't do this. And then I happen to be sitting there when that message comes through and I see it on your phone while we're looking at TikToks together.
Right. Where's the boundary for our relationship?
Yeah, man, that's a fucking problem. And I'm willing to bet that people have friendships that don't want to ruin that friendship are not going to curb that as hard as they fucking should have.
Why would you want to have a friendship where they don't respect your marriage or relationship? If you are fearful that you set a boundary with somebody where they're crossing a line with you, like sexually, and you're worried about losing that friendship, ooh, that's a whole host of things. First off, why would you tolerate that? Yep. Second off, why would you be worried about losing that person if they're blatantly crossing boundaries? Right. Do you want that attention?
Probably.
Oh man, that's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot to think about, though.
It really is. Okay. After taking her home,
hold on. That can go for women too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Women flirting with women.
Oh, God, yeah. I can't tell you. I probably get hit on more by women than I do men. Right. I had a woman with our son in the back seat blatantly say something like, oh, she complimented me. She was like, here you are, gorgeous.
A Wendy's worker.
A Wendy's worker. And it's a woman. And she goes, here's your drink. She goes, here you are, gorgeous. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she goes, I don't know if you swing that way, but I would fuck you right now.
Yeah, with your kid in the car.
And I...
So glad I wasn't in the car.
I was so flabbergasted. I said, oh, shit. And I said it nasty. And the people working behind her stopped and kind of looked at her. Yeah. And she just kind of gave me the rest of my food and I left. But.
Yep. I'd have parked and went inside had I been in the vehicle. I actually told you when you got back, because you need to contact Wendy's and say what just happened with your kids in the car.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
After taking her home, I thanked her for allowing me to take her to dinner. And she thanked me for taking her. And I ended the night by telling her how I felt. It went really well, and I would like to continue building upon a friendship throughout this so that if we were to repair things and get back together, we would have a much more stronger base for the relationship. She started the morning off by going off and telling me that she had no interest in a relationship, which led to further discussion about the subject.
Wait a minute. So they had a really good night. He ended it with, I just want to engage with friendship moving
Right.
forward. In case we do build something, we have a friendship foundation.
Yeah.
And the next morning she pushes him away again.
Yep.
There's something wrong with this chick.
Oh, yeah.
Mentally, she's not there.
Do you think it could be borderline?
It could be. It could be a whole lot of, there's something fucking wrong with her.
Yeah.
Or maybe she got home and was in a great mood and texted that other guy and they're talking on the side and she's keeping him at bay, hoping that things work with this other fucking dude. Something is going on there.
Yeah.
Whether she's just off her fucking rocker or if she's talking to someone else and is trying to keep him at
Keep
bay.
him on the back burner.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
You know, who does that? We have a great night and the next morning you're like, fuck you, I don't want a relationship with you, when I ended with, I just want to be your friend.
Right. Yeah, that there is definitely fucked up going on.
Wonder how much of her drinking and substance abuse was self-medicating.
Yeah. Okay. This discussion progressed to me explaining to her that I was not wanting one right now because I felt like we both needed to be on a different point with ourselves before we get back together. But I felt that if it was in the cards, we would need to be clearer on this matter. But again, this is the direct opposite of what the conversation the evening before was. And this is not the first time where it's been discussed in depth and then flipped the next day just for it to happen again a day or two later. Being able to see her and have in-person discussions, and then being able to see her and have in-person discussions improved my overall mental state tremendously. And today was actually a really good day for me outside of the flip-flop that occurred. Another occurrence today was when I asked her to a baseball game because I thought it would be good for us both to get out of town for an evening and go do something we both enjoyed. She responded by telling me she couldn't and that we hung out the night before, so she didn't want to. She flipped once again and texted me around a few hours later that she was almost off and wanted to go, but I had already passed on getting the tickets due to them being given by a friend. All of the back and forth is what is absolutely confusing me still.
She sounds like she has borderline.
It does sound like borderline.
I love you, I hate you, don't leave me.
Right.
But I also know that back and forth shit that she's doing could also be that she's talking to another person.
It could be. That could also explain her promiscuity.
The borderline?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. That idea, maybe she had plans with another person and the plans fell through.
So
Now she's backing up because now she doesn't want to be alone.
Right.
So I saw you last night. I don't want to see you 2 nights in a row. A couple hours later, be like, all right, well, maybe I changed my mind.
So
Did dinner fall through with the other person you were supposed to be going to dinner with, and now you don't want to be alone tonight? Like,
right.
it could be borderline. It could be infidelity. There's just so much there.
So this might be something you want to cut, but I want to ask you permission. Do you remember when you were in the house that you were renting and I had Brandon take the kids for a day so you and I can spend a full day together, and you told me that you were tired of seeing me because you've seen me for a week at work?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay.
If you're asking me if there was promiscuity,
No, not
okay.
that. But that's that back and forth of I want to spend time with you, fuck away, like fuck off, go away. Because
Okay, so in that scenario, that was not me. Anytime that I pushed you away from me during that phase,
right.
from the other house to the rental, was because I was either suicidal, going through an extreme borderline episode, and didn't want to see, like, I didn't want you to see that.
Right.
I was terrified of you seeing me in a vulnerable state when I was going through all of that because I didn't want you to look down on me.
Right.
There is a very real fear. There's a very real fear of having my weaknesses thrown back in my face from somebody that I love the way that I love you. It would devastate me. If I unloaded all of my shit and you saw me in a mental breakdown, like ready to be Baker acted at my weakest, you would never look at me the same way again. And I fear that. Like, I don't want you to ever see that side of me.
So that would never happen where I view you differently because you have a mental breakdown. I've had mental breakdowns. I've been Baker acted several times.
But you're a woman.
What does that have to do with it? Is it because I'm more emotional?
No, it's because men aren't supposed to be vulnerable and aren't supposed to
Right.
cry, and that's not an okay scenario, and that's what we've been taught our whole fucking life. And then we have women tell us it's okay to be vulnerable, and then when we do, it's thrown in our fucking face later.
So I can understand where your fear is because of that. Because
Lived life experiences.
lived life experiences. I know me saying it's not going to change your mind, but I want you to know I will never see you as less of a man, or my opinion of you will change because you have a mental breakdown.
Right. But this conversation now
Right.
about things that happened back then, like,
Right, but if you still feel that way,
right.
like if that's still a thing for you, I want it to be known that that will never happen.
Right, but you've seen me be super vulnerable now, so
Right.
that.
But not to that extent.
Right. Well, I haven't been to that extent.
Right.
I am getting better. Like, there's a lot of growth that's happened in me, but I'm also not afraid of you seeing me cry. Then I very much was.
Okay.
Like, there
That-
was,
Okay.
it was a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I was still trying to test you and figure out if you were really going to be here, and like the fear of really just having you walk out of my life. Like, I don't fear that anymore.
Right.
Like, I am so confident in us that when you're like, somebody just messaged me, I laugh. I'm like, shot, bro. Like, I don't have a fear of you walking away.
Right.
I truly believe with everything in me that there is nothing on this earth that another man can offer you that I can't, that would make you want to leave me.
Right.
Because the superficial shit that men can offer you, it would be money or some shit like that. Like, you're not that person.
Right.
We have a dope fucking life. You don't want for anything. So like, I don't have that fear. So
Right.
like, my fear of you walking out the door and just abandoning me is gone until we're in conflict.
Yeah.
And then obviously my BPD kicks in and I have that fear, but I'm not now who I
Right.
was then. It's a different thing.
So the reason of me bringing that up was I didn't understand that in that moment. And that's that I love you, go away, come back. Because it was the 3 days I didn't have my kids.
Yeah.
And then I had him take the kids that extra day so we could have a full day together, do whatever the hell we wanted to. And that morning, you were going through it. You were definitely going through it. You were complaining about everything that was going on with the divorce and all of that bullshit. And you hit me with, and now I have to spend the whole day with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what does that mean? You were like, I've seen you every night the last 4 days, and I've seen you at work, and now I have to spend my whole day off with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude, like we've planned this for 2 weeks. I could be spending today with my kids.
Yeah.
And after learning about BPD, that's the reason I bring it up, because that's kind of what this sounds like. Like, she's fucking going through it. If she's splitting or she's having a thing going on, that's definitely that fucking back and forth. And she might not even be recognizing she's doing it.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how far I've come with my borderline
Yeah.
in the last like 3 years, because I have episodes. I still have episodes. I will
Right.
always have episodes, but I'm able to navigate them differently.
Yeah.
And like, now I'm not ashamed of just being like, hey, I'm really fucking going through it right now. And like, I know that even when I'm going through it, and it creates conflict, because it does almost every time I go through it, you and I get into it somehow. And even if it's not a big get into it, I know I make you feel like ass. Like, nobody wants the love of their life to hurt them or say foul things or be short or distant or
Right.
intentionally absent. And sometimes that's all I can do, because things could be so much worse if I don't just become absent. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I'll sit in here while you're in the bedroom or whatever. But I do believe that the way that I handle my borderline is so much better than what it was when we had the comic book store. I don't know.
I've noticed a difference in you.
I don't know. It's constant struggle. It's constant growth.
I know.
It is what it is.
You're doing really good.
Well, I'm trying. I don't want to regress. I want to be able to realize what's happening in the moment and correct it.
Right.
And sometimes when I have an episode, I don't know what triggered it. And that's the hardest times, because I can't figure out what the fuck set me off. Because once I figure out what set me off, I can logic mind pick it apart.
You can add it to your map.
But there's times where the other night when we had our little tiff, it's because something set me off and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I went from feeling really good about everything to like, I don't want to do any of this anymore.
Right.
And it was within seconds, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
I think you said it was something on TikTok.
It might have been. I really don't know.
It's crazy how something like that can just
Yeah.
get you like that. That's wild.
And I can't control it.
I know. That's what absolutely just blows my mind is you can't control it. That's literally just your brain going, all right, fuck you. Here we go.
Yep.
Buckle up.
Yep.
Human psyche's insane. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's hard on you.
I will never not be proud to be your wife.
Yeah, you say that. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Shut up and accept my love.
I'm trying. You're just making it. You're prolonging it. You're prolonging.
Am I
the
making
love
you uncomfortable?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. It's one thing to fawn over me. It's another to do the whole "I'm proud of you, proud to be your wife" thing. Like,
does it get you differently?
it does.
Okay.
Yeah. That whole "you're proud of me" thing.
Yeah.
It still almost makes me cry.
I know it gets to you, and I never say it just to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get him.
Yeah.
I say it because I truly mean it.
All right. I know you say it in the moments.
Yeah. Okay, so the rest of that's just a thank you. That was just an update of what things are going on. So part 3. Relationship help part 3. I just want to start off by thanking you both so much for your continued dedication to helping so many people, myself included. The information and advice you two provide has been crucial in helping me identify a lot that was extremely unacceptable in my past relationship. To summarize everything that's happened since the last follow-up, we got confirmation that the child is not mine.
Knew that was going to happen, though.
I can't imagine how devastating that was. I mean, I know he's already prepared.
Yeah, you can, though. But, like, if
Right.
you have it in your heart that this is going to be your kid, even though your brain is telling you it's really fucking not, it's
Right.
difficult. 1 in 4 men are not the father. No, 1 in 3. It's 1 in 3 men are not the father. It's like 40%. 1 in 3.
That's too many.
Yeah, are not the father. 40% is what they said. That the last study said that 40% of men are raising children who are not theirs and they don't even know it.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah.
You know, women go through shit, and women want to say they have it harder, but a woman will never have to second guess on whether or not her child belongs to her.
Right. I think that when women do that shit and men end up having to pay child support before the child support is initiated, a DNA test should be court ordered.
Oh, I agree. Definitely.
And I also think for everybody who's had to pay child support that finds out later that the kid is not theirs, that child support should be owed and it should be forced to be paid.
Yeah.
And if the woman can't pay, she should have to go to fucking jail. Just like men who don't fucking pay their child support should have to go to jail. The DNA test should matter more than the name on a birth certificate.
Right.
Because anybody's name could be on a birth certificate. Any man that's in a relationship with a woman that's like, yeah, I'm going to raise this fucking kid even though I know it's not mine and sign the name on that birth certificate, guess what, bud? You're paying child support.
Yep. It's heartbreaking.
System's fucked up.
Yeah. After that, things went even worse than they already had been. I definitely didn't think that was possible. She screamed at me in multiple arguments about how she understood why my ex cheated on me. Screamed at me that she didn't give a fuck that she cheated or that she hurt me, and that she only cared about the fact that she was having a kid. That is exactly why men don't open up.
Yep.
I
Literally
s-
what we just talked about.
I see why your ex cheated on you. How fucking foul. I want to fist fight women like this. Of course, when they're not pregnant. When they're not pregnant. But if you think that you're this...
Here's a thought. Here's a thought. You
What?
ready for this one?
What?
If you fist fight a woman who's pregnant and she miscarries, you can be charged with murder because you killed an infant. Got that, right?
Right.
But if they have an abortion, it's not a baby. You ready for that conversation?
Wow.
Yeah. It's murder. If you cause a woman to miscarry in a violent interaction, you will be charged with murder.
But if you have an abortion...
It's not a child.
Is it because of the choice?
You don't consider it a child till after it can breathe and do its thing outside the womb, right?
Right.
So if you beat up a woman who's pregnant and the baby miscarries, why is it murder? I don't want to really have that discussion.
Right.
I just want you guys to think about
Yeah.
that.
There's a lot of ways that
Double
discussion
standard
can
fucking
go.
bullshit.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
I really do want to fist fight women like that.
Yeah.
Fight fist.
Fight fist. Just bloody knuckles.
Right. Like you think you're this high and mighty shit that you can talk however you want to a man and really emotionally destroy him and think that makes you superior. You think you're a good woman for doing that?
I'm willing to bet that a lot of those women do think they're good women.
Oh God.
People-
Honey, no.
People look in the mirror and have a false perception of themselves. It's
I deserve better than him.
yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
You hit the-
Oh my God.
You hit your phone like our friend on TikTok. Get the fuck out of here.
I want to hit them in the face. Oh, I would rip a woman apart. If I was privy to a conversation, if we were in public and I heard a woman going, oh yeah, he did this, so I threw in his face. I understand why she cheated on you. I would look at her and I'd make a fucking face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about that shit in public, you're going to get opinions. If you want to confront me about the face I made, ooh, girl, you are in for a fucking whirlwind. Let's have a discussion.
Is that the end of the email?
No.
Okay.
I'm getting heated. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm trying to pull you back in.
I've done a lot of training and I know how to gouge out eyeballs. I'm just saying.
Best way to avoid conflict is not being in a situation.
That is so
if
true.
I see you make a face at somebody, it's like, come on, babe, we're leaving.
Oh, yeah. We're going. Those are some of the extreme things she said, but there was plenty more, simply too much to put in here, and I figured I'd hit on the two that were absolutely malicious and vindictive. You're right, that is vindictive. She is trying to manipulate you. She still had belongings at my house that I simply put all in her bag, and she had left along with her mail, and a note stating, I'm sorry for the way things went between us. Here is the rest of your belongings that were at my house. I wish you and your kid the best, and I hope you become a great mother. Ooh, I hope you become a great mother. That's a good dig. I love that you left that
I don't
note.
think that was meant to be malicious.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be malicious. That is a professional fuck you.
Yeah, it really is.
That's
Yeah.
what that is.
Yep.
That kind of shit just hits my tits. Like,
It hits your tits.
it
huh?
does. Yeah. I love it.
That's funny.
A professional fuck you like that, because really on the surface, I'm wishing you the best. Like, I hope you become the best mother you can be. But that means that you're not that now and you
Yeah.
need to work on yourself.
That's funny.
Fucking get her. Along with a few other things, just to work through my feelings a bit and help with my healing process. This was followed up by her threatening to call the cops, telling me I need serious help and I'm seriously fucked up and going straight back to being outright malicious and evil, when all I did was try to be a good person and make sure she got her belongings, as they weren't exactly cheap items. To clarify, I left them on her doorstep, knocked, and was in my truck driving away before she even opened the door. I didn't try to speak to her or harass her or anything of the sort. That's how you handle people like this. You drop their shit off, you ring the doorbell, ding dong ditch. Like,
Yeah.
I am out. I would have blocked her on everything too. That way she can't do a follow-up.
Same.
In a conversation about a week after, I told her I was sorry for things, said out of anger and pain, as I didn't like being that person. No, you dropped all of her shit off. There is not a week later conversation. You need to block her. This is the final email, and if you do not say that you have blocked her after this, get on it.
It's the final email. That's really where my fucking brain goes, man. Oh, man.
I've explained I know I can't take back what I said, and that we both have said things that we can't take back. Her response was, I haven't said a single thing that I need to apologize for in the slightest. I know there's no women in the Patreon or in the Discord that think like this. Could you imagine thinking like this? Like, as another woman who is watching this, could you imagine having that mindset? I know everybody in the Patreon has accountability. I'm proud of the women who are in the Patreon.
Right, we have a good group of people.
Like,
over there.
y'all are a step above the rest. I could never imagine. I mean, I could. I was a foul woman at one point, but now with who I am and the mindset I am in, I'm disgusted at who I used to be.
Yeah.
I am disgusted by the fact that people have memories of who I was back then.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of that shit.
Yeah, but you're not them now.
I know.
So.
But acknowledging that, I never want to go back there again. And having that thought process now with who I am as a person, that's disgusting. This exchange is the last time I will be speaking to her. It gave me all the closure I needed and solidified the feelings that I had that she truly didn't care about me or the things she's put me through. I know you both hate buzzwords, as do I. But after consulting with a very good family friend who is a psychiatrist and allowing her to read conversations and relaying the events, it is a very common census that I've been dealing with an extreme narcissist. Mm-hmm. I would agree with that statement. All of that. If it's not borderline, it's narcissism, extreme narcissism. I'm not gonna say it's narcissism. That is extreme narcissism because everyone is narcissistic to an extent.
Right.
Just to say it again, because it truly can't be said enough, thank you both. Thank you for all that you do, for all the content, help, and the advice you provide. You two are truly amazing people who are helping change lives and saving people. I guess my only question now is, how would you two recommend to start and help the healing process and healing the massive amounts of trauma I've gone through as of late?
Stop dating.
Stop dating. That was my first thought. Don't even acknowledge females at this point. You need to work on yourself and get past all of this shit and acknowledge that you will never let this happen to you again. If you start speaking to another woman and initiate the dating process, the likelihood of this happening a third time is high.
Yeah.
Because you've already let it happen once.
Right. Well, you also need to keep in mind that if you're going to start dating again, you need to court and not rush things.
Right. Like he said before, build the foundation of friendship. That way, when you get into a relationship, it's stronger.
Right.
You said it in the last email. You know, you have the information. Apply it now in real time and work on yourself and set a standard.
Yeah.
If a woman is Snapchatting a bunch of men, don't even entertain her.
Did he say how old he was?
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did. Stop dating. He said he's going to therapy. Continue doing therapy. Mm-hmm. Work on yourself. The work will never stop, but you need to work through everything right now that's hurting you.
Yeah.
New things are going to pop up along the way that you are never even going to recognize as a trigger until it happens. And you'll deal with that in due time, but you need to focus on everything right now and work through that shit.
Yeah.
And don't settle. Don't meet people on TikTok.
Met us on TikTok.
They're not trying to date us.
I know. I'm just, yeah. The how you meet people matters to an extent. Like you know, you don't want to be on a dating site and trying to meet people through a dating site. Obviously, the internet is more prevalent now. It puts more people together, and it makes it easier to meet people. But it also allows people to decrease their quality of standards and who they are as a person, and put up a facade of who they are as a person, and fake it. And you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know. I would rather meet somebody naturally and let an organic thing happen than slide into a DMs and you'd be like, "Yo, girl, what up, girl?"
And when you do start dating again, don't have sex for at least 3 months.
Yeah, I would say 6, but
I would say a minimum of 3. If you can go 6 months, like, I don't care how great shit's going. If you can go 6 months, do it. But 3 months at the minimum. Don't have sex with someone. Just get to know them as a person.
Yeah. And make sure that they're not fucking other people. Like, if you guys are going to start courting and you're going to start dating and doing the get to know each other thing, make it clear that you don't want somebody that's seeing other people. And that if you know what I mean, like if they're not willing to give you 3 months to see if this is going to work, then it's not worth doing. You know what I mean? Like somebody's going to see the value and be like, "No, you got it. You're right. 3 months is not that big of a deal. It's 3 months. We can go on dates. We can do dinner. We can hang out. We can be flirty. We can be friendly. We can, you know, whatever. Just keep it PG-13."
Right.
That was 1 hour and 30 minutes. We could do another one.
Another one?
We could.
I'm exhausted.
Okay.
I think 1 hour and 30 minutes is a decent amount.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I'm just saying we could do another one if you wanted to. If you're tired, we don't have to. I don't really care.
I don't want to get burnt out.
Okay.
Because we have to do this tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we do. Well, we don't have all day tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. We have lunch or dinner.
Dinner. Yep. I think I have something else tomorrow too. I'm gonna call it.
I do want to call it.
Any final thoughts?
That shit hurts my heart. It really hurts my heart knowing that somebody has lived through that experience and it was a constant back and forth of, okay, there's hope. Never mind, they're shitting on it. Oh, wait, there's hope again. That happened every other day.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. How much are you willing to subject yourself to that for someone who clearly doesn't want to make it work with you? You guys need to learn to take the L and just walk away.
Right. Well, it's not taking an L if it's in the early stages.
Right.
It's really not. Like,
well, at first they're going to view it as a loss.
Yeah, I don't see it that way. If you don't mesh, if you're not meshing and there's conflict and there's problems happening in the first year of a relationship, it's not a loss. It just didn't work. You're not meant for each other. They're fucked up. You're fucked up. Whatever the case may be. I would much rather know that in the first year instead of wasting 2 or 3 years with somebody, realizing that it's not going to work and then walking away then.
Right.
And knowing what I know about the obsession phase and how things are in the first 2 years, anybody that emails at this point that's like, we're 2 years in and we're having all these fucking problems, and be like, yeah, it's going to get a whole lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because now I know that the obsession phase is wearing off, and that's why you guys are having the problems that you're having now. And a year from now, it's going to be that much fucking worse.
Oh, yeah.
Look at it as like, okay, dating phase didn't work out so great. Moving on to the next person because I don't want to marry somebody that I can't get along with.
That's why I said earlier, if you wouldn't tolerate it for after being 10 years of married, don't tolerate it within the first 6 months of dating.
Yeah. I really think people need to be dating to marry, not
Yes.
dating just to date.
Hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
This is your lives, guys.
People don't want to be alone.
No, they don't. They don't want to live alone. Stop being scared of being alone. When you are comfortable in the silence, when you have somebody else there, it's going to enhance it so much more.
Yeah, we got one of the email that we got earlier was that I was looking for that I couldn't find was that a woman met a guy. Before he met her, he played softball all the time and he drank. And she doesn't like the drinking, and he backed off the drinking every day except for softball games. And he wants her to go to the softball games, but she won't go because he drinks when he plays softball. And she's now asking us if we think it's inappropriate for her to ask him to quit drinking.
Yes, you're overstepping.
Yeah, you fucking knew what he was doing when you met him, and he's dialed it down to 1 day a week, and you're not even willing to put yourself out enough to go and watch his softball game for whatever your reason is.
That's selfishness.
Yeah.
That's someone putting themselves above their spouse or their significant other purely because what they're doing doesn't meet their interests.
Right.
You're in the wrong.
Yeah. I understand there being trauma and people having, sobriety issues and things of that nature.
You knew that getting into a relationship.
Right. But if I met you and you were like, I'm on a dart league and I go to the bar once a week and play darts and I drink and we do our thing. And I hate bars. I hate bars. But if you were like, season's coming, we're fucking top 4. I really want you to come and support me play darts. I would go.
Right.
I'd be miserable as fuck the whole time I'm there, but I would root you on and I would go home afterwards.
That's the compromise.
Right.
If I was doing a dart league, and I've been in that for 4 years, and we're working our way up and we're getting good, I am not going to give up something I have dedicated myself to for the last 4 years just to make you feel comfortable.
Right.
You're stepping into my life.
Right. Right. People have to realize that there's the hobbies that you have before you meet somebody is something that should be nourished.
Yeah.
It keeps individuality. It keeps you
does.
guys together. It keeps, you know what I mean? And you can do hobbies together. Like if you are a bowler and I'm not into bowling and you convince me to finally go bowling and I enjoy it and I suck at it, but we still do it together. You get to practice and I get to fucking make an ass out of myself and we get to have fun and laugh at each other. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like there's a growth that happens there and an intimacy and it could be a date night. Like I just don't understand why people are so adamant to just fucking make their partner change. Or
Trying to fill
their
voids from
person.
childhood.
Right.
That's what it is. You're trying to fill voids from childhood. If it's not a void from a childhood, it's a void from a relationship that's fucked you up.
Yeah. Is that really what you think that is if somebody's trying to change the person they're with?
Oh, no, I mean just not wanting to be alone.
Oh, no, I'm talking about in that scenario.
In that scenario of trying to change someone who they're...
Yeah. And that lady that sent that email, if she doesn't want her boyfriend to drink and go play softball and doesn't want to be around him if he drinks and is trying to make him quit drinking.
Date someone who's sober.
Right. Find somebody. Yeah. You're not settling at that point. You're like, okay, this does not meet all of my needs. This is a hard limit for me. I'm not willing to do it. This just isn't going to work.
Right.
You figure that shit out way early on. You can't go, okay, he checks a whole bunch of boxes, but he drinks, and now I'm going to change this motherfucker, and he's not going to drink anymore.
Yeah.
Because what happens when that doesn't work out? Because in that email, dude flat out said no.
Good.
Like
Stand your
he's not
ground.
going to quit drinking. He's going to drink on Sundays or whatever and play softball once a week.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that's holding women to a standard that makes them realize you can't dictate everything in a man's life.
Yeah.
Just because you're a woman and you're my wife doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing the shit that I'm doing. Now, if he's an alcoholic, that's a different story. But in this scenario,
Right.
if she was fine with it for the last 3 years, you can't all of a sudden say, okay, now you need to stop doing it. I know you stopped drinking the other 6 days of the week.
Right.
You need to stop the 7th one. That's not good enough.
Yep. Yep. It's wild. All right. I got nothing else.
Okay.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.